We'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Gangster Chronicles podcast. It's your boy Bigg Steele along with You know what? Monumental week in LA for hip hop. This year, K Dot had his big concert down there, man. Everybody and their mama was down there. I think it was a good thing for the city. What you think?
It was pretty good. I mean, I don't downplay it. It was a nice little turnout, so to speak. I know my son went down there, and I guess some people, was questioning who should have been there or who wasn't there.
I know your DMs was blowing up and people asking you if you was up there, huh?
I got a couple of people asking me, was I going? A couple of people I knew was in the audience, and they were like, when he started Mad City, they was just, that would have made my night if you would have came out and did your part of Mad City. I said, yeah, it's all good, but you don't take nobody's shine,
For real.
It wasn't even about that situation. I'm still appreciative of just being able to be on the project and on the song. But some people, it is what it is.
I think it was cool. I think in those situations, to be honest with you, normally, as beautiful as they are, you go always have somebody mad at you about some shit. It's cool, because I saw a few people that were upset because they felt like they should have been involved with the show, whatever. It's like you can't have everybody, man.
Yeah, for his line or his generation of people that's in his lane as far as when they came out or the type of artists they are. I thought he served the purpose efficiently, from him, J-Rock and Schoolboy Q and Ab-Soul and them.
Like Hippie.
People like Osama, you saw a headset and who they brought out. And I don't know how that was coordinated. But, people were pleased.
Well, you know what, man? And ain't no telling, man. Normally when you have situations like that, he and his glasses DJ.
Okay.
He glasses DJ. Head is DJing because of glasses. Glasses kind of empowered him with that because Head was doing his podcast shit before everybody, pretty much.
He wasn't a DJ?
Homegrown radio. No, Head was doing homegrown radio, but he wasn't a DJ. Glasses kind of got him his first set of turntables and told him, hey, man, you need to, you should become a DJ.
Okay.
And I say all that to say is, I don't think Head had no control of who he was able to bring out there. You feel what I mean?
Well, I said, I watched it on Amazon Prime, thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was dope, man. And I thought it was dope. And to be honest with you, to see homies like Head, just me knowing where he come from to the stuff he doing now, I'm proud of the homie. That's some good shit, I
mean, because I said, like, it's sort of like the situation like I was in with being on the record on Mad City. They could have reached out to, a ton of other people or whoever was. But I felt like for the times and for, like I said, Kendrick is like behind us as far as generation of hip hop is concerned, representing Compton. You had the NWAs and whatever, and then we came along and you had YG and them come along and Kendrick and all that. So, it's good representation, especially from Compton.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Compton was definitely in the house. I forgot about that. You did have YG and all of them. I saw, and I saw Game. He came out and had some things to say, but I wouldn't want to overshadow that moment, man, because you had a whole bunch of people in the house. There was a bunch of B-Dogs there, but there was a lot of Crips there, too.
Oh, definitely.
And didn't nothing pop off. Everything was cool. It was lovely. So, shout out to that, man. I think it was cool. And it's one of those things, knowing the homies, if we wanted to pull up there, we could have pulled up.
Yeah, I didn't even, I didn't even think about it, you know.
Me neither, because if I would have got invited, I probably wouldn't have went anyway, because it's just, with those things, man.
Now, the kid did ask me, did I have any way of getting in contact, you know, because he definitely wanted to go. And I hadn't even thought about, you know, hitting you to hit Top in them or whatever. But his sister knows a few people close to them, and she was able to get tickets. So he went with Big Sis. He said he had a good time.
He had a good time, and that's the main thing about it, man. That the people have a good time. You know what? And I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm cool enough with them cats. If I wanted to go see Kendrick just to catch up with him, right, it wouldn't be no thing like that, because he ain't got no time to be talking to my ass backstage.
Right. I mean, you really at work.
You feel what I'm saying? He at work. You know what I'm saying? He at his job. If I wanted to go see the homie, it would be plenty of other places I would go where I would actually be able to sit down and talk to him and see what's going on with him. You feel what I mean?
And like I said, it's not to take away from his achievement, his accomplishments. And it was a good light shined on the city.
Yeah, it was a really good light shine.
But I don't want to, you know, it was great for, you know, niggas who in the hood still and, you know, having to represent and do that shit. To be able to come to a situation like that and everybody mingling and getting along, but
it was dope.
We over here, a lot of us who have matured in our mind states about shit like that. We've been in several situations where it's been a mix of different neighborhoods and different affiliates, and you know, and I can say that I've been to a couple of motherfucking events where,
and it's been cool.
Yeah,
we just had the thing. What was that? Maybe 6 months ago, the concert that Mac Chin had.
Exactly,
and it was all love, man. And that's what the one thing about it is, everyone outside of the coast kept making such a big deal. Oh, there were so many gangs in one place. I was like, we not just savages out here.
I mean, but you know, it's always been frowned upon from and even now you can go to different motherfucking states and niggas is cripping in blood into the fullest. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying.
And,
they doing
and feeling like, you know, authentic from the gate. And you can't tell a motherfucker any different. You get me? Like born and bred from nigga this shit. We've been Bloods and Crips, niggas, since the inception of this shit.
Hell
and
yeah.
Everybody really knows how that went down. But like I said, people frown upon us because of having a gang motherfucking situation. But people got to understand, you know, growing up in the neighborhoods and being subject to gang life, it's really just like a community of just like a motherfucker drafting you to the army. You know what I'm saying? You grow up in the hood, then most likely, if you don't have those avenues of walking a different walk, most likely you gonna grow up affiliated. And then most of the time it's just by friend association and just connection and community of, nigga, we ride bikes together and we living in this neighborhood.
Really, that's what it's all about, man.
We, like I said, we start off riding bikes together, and then we playing little league football together.
Then we
going to elementary together, and then I mean, by the time you get to junior high school and you seeing the big homies on the corner, and this is the neighborhood, and you feeling like sort of like rite of passage. You get me? Unless you have that different outlook of, well, I'm gonna play some sports or I'm gonna do something different. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, niggas grow up wanting to affiliate themselves because, shit, this is my home foundation. This is what I know, nigga. Him over across the street, him around the corner, him down the street, them 2 blocks away. So you feel connected by that. So
that's all it is. But you know, on a much somber and darker note, the cat Julio, the young man Julio Foolio, lost his life. And this is what I don't get about this. if you one of those guys that like to go on the internet and talk about people and disparage people, talk about people's dead homies, don't make public posts about what you're going to do. Why would you make a post? I'm having a birthday party over here at the hotel. Pull up. Rest in peace to him, because this is some sad shit, you know? But that wasn't the brightest move in the world.
I mean, because, you know, I don't want to put it like, you know, it's the day and age of the young generation, because me as a young gangbanger, we didn't have internet and social media and shit like that, but seems like when somebody threw a block house party, niggas knew the party was cracking.
Yeah, you know what?
and then not to cut you off, but shit, niggas knew where the party was cracking and come through and spray that motherfucker. You feel me? So you don't want to put it on that, but you making it easier for your opposite. And then if you know you are having real serious issues, because like I said, once again, it's one thing to go back and forth on the microphone with some braggadocious nigga, I'm flyer than you, or nigga, my verses is harder than you.
They making real enemies. It ain't none of that.
Man, could you imagine, you know, if OGs from our time had the mind state of the young homies today, of just like, oh yeah, we know we just, nigga, we hush. You feel me? That was some quiet shit. If you jumped in the car and hit a nigga block and bing bing. Most of the time, niggas was trying to make it to where we want niggas to think it's somebody else who did the hit.
You didn't have your last. The last thing in your mind, bro, was doing some shit to where the fingers could point back at you.
Exactly.
You didn't think like that. You said, I want to be inconspicuous as possible. Now, first thing somebody come out and say is, I'm smoking on that Julio Foolio pack.
And then another thing is it's like I said, we've come from beefing on records, right? But the truth in situations that we pulled back in, it was always taught that it was quiet on the set, right?
Well, think like
it
that
was
nowadays.
It's amazing because, like I said, I pay attention, and it's had me curious lately. That I've been on YouTube watching a lot of how these beefs are started and originated, and these young niggas is bold as a motherfucker. I hand it to you there, because they have no problem going in the studio, talking about the dead. You know, my man had motherfucker, like they be like, I'm gonna put dead oppositions on shirts. We gonna make up rap songs, and basically explaining how the hit got pulled off, who got smoked, what kind of pistol it was.
All that. You
get me? And just braggadocious with it. And I guess it's the new form of, you know how when sets was beefing and you go through the sets and nigga might cross out your hood or whoop-de-whoop, you know, that's that new form of banging dissing, right?
Yeah, you know what they doing now. This cat, Young and Ace, he came out with a track the next day after Julio Foolio died.
Of course.
Yeah, Julio Foolio had dissed his brother on the song, though.
Yeah.
His dead brother on the song, so now he came back. He got a song called, what is the name of this song? Do It. He came out with a record called Do It. I guess they had been going back and forth a little bit, man, but when does this stop now? So what's going to happen now? One of Julio Foolio's homies is going to go back and get at him now? And
I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, that's the code. I mean, from what I've been following, with not just their situation, but all of the situations around, all the little cliques and crews from Chicago to Atlanta, down over in Florida. I've been peeping out all the situations, and definitely somebody's finna come back with
these little niggas.
Somebody's gonna, and not to just say it out blatantly, but somebody's gonna die. Because that's how the situation falls. You get me? It's the retaliation game, but it's like I said, it's bold and out now because nigga, we at the crib.
Yeah, dude was 26 years old.
We at the crib with the microphones and the beats, and we stand right here and make, and our songs is gonna be like, okay, y'all got the homie, and now it's like the situation is like, we have to. So of course, because it ain't like niggas is finna be on like the quiet or the low with it, you feel me? They're not gonna be like, well, it's finna be drama in the streets. Niggas all probably think or feel that we had something to do with it. So now it's time to lay low. Shit, man, them niggas gonna be on the block the next day and braggadocious about it.
Shooting videos and everything. And it's sad, man. The young man got killed on his birthday, man. I feel for his parents. His mama talking about shooting a documentary now, but on the opposite side, you got his enemies out there making videos and stuff. I don't know, man. It's just gotta be. I'm glad I didn't have kids during this era, dog. It would have been hard, bro. And
But Julio made that video at his brother's gravesite.
Yeah,
is he really that in the wrong for doing that?
Because you know what you sound like now. You sound like a nigga just on a podcast.
I'm saying.
The people can't hear you.
Objective point of view.
Yeah, you know what? The
is
thing
he that
is,
in the wrong?
He dissed his dead brother, but
did a video at his funeral.
At some point though, you have to and it's easy to say it and done, man. You gotta practice some exercise, some maturity. Like, we got to get a little bit more mature as a people, man, especially this young generation scare me. Not to be out here sounding like the old nigga dog in the room, but these little niggas is off the hook, dog.
Yeah, that's why it's a different time as far as, like I said, with the representation of wanting to, I guess, be what you say as far as in your raps or what you rhyming about. Because dudes, they're not making songs. They're just making death threats on records, if you want to, and hip hop, like I said, it shines a bad light on hip hop because this isn't what it's intended for. It's just like with the podcast game. You get me? There's some podcasts where motherfuckers have loyal fans and straight to the point and no shit and whatever. And then a lot of shows be niggas who are starting their own platforms or whatever because they want to get their feelings off their chest.
Yeah. Can I say something about podcasting real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I cut you off. This is from me to you. The internet is fucking full right now. We don't need no more podcasts. Every time I turn around, man, it's a motherfucker coming up with a damn podcast. I don't know what niggas think. Stop listening to these niggas telling y'all that they don't got $30 and $40 million on these deals. That shit ain't happening like that. There's no way for a company to make the money back. Now, there's some brothers out there getting some money, but that's not the money that they say they getting, dog. I've been doing this shit for a long time. And I wish, and don't take this as me being a hater or nothing, dog.
Yeah.
But every time I turn around, there's a nigga coming out with a podcast. I'm like, okay, now what the hell is this dude gonna talk about?
A lot of times, they've become niggas' own personal rant pages, is what they've become. Because let's face it, it takes some skill to be able to communicate and intrigue the public with conversations and content that's really, you know, necessary. A lot of times these podcasts are dudes who want to take their personal rants out on motherfuckers they oppose. You get me?
Or either diss motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you what it turned into, man. You know what YouTube is now? YouTube is the new, what was that shit that motherfuckers got? General Relief? GR? YouTube is the new fucking GR for lazy ass niggas who don't want to go get a fucking job. Cause they figure, man, if I can go out there and dish niggas, especially these old niggas, right? You know, it ain't just them, it's the young, you know, younger dudes doing their shit. They doing the streaming shit, right?
Right.
But I look and see the older dudes, they out there trying to diss cats now. They think that's the way. They don't want to do no research. They don't want to come up with nothing to talk about. So they figure, well, man, you know what? Oh, these cats doing all right over here. We go dish them niggas and make them go back and forth with us. It's retarded now, man.
And that kind of started, you know, with the rap shit. You know, when niggas started rapping and feeling like, well, I'm just gonna jump in the rap game just by dissing a motherfucker.
And I'm gonna diss a motherfucker.
And that's gonna get me. That's gonna get a motherfucker. I asked the question this when back in the day. It was about 10 years ago or whatever. So nigga asked me to get on a record with him, and I'm asking the nigga like, okay, send me the beat, what the concept about, blah blah blah. And he comes back and goes, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna diss a motherfucker. And this was, you know, somebody who was making noise at the time, and you know, popularity was getting up there. And so I questioned the motherfucker, and I'm like, oh, did y'all have some problems or issues or something? And the nigga said, no, I don't even know the nigga. But I think that if I diss him, it's a way for me to get exposed fast. And I turned the song down and I said, dude, that's not how you come into the game. Like,
no, make a good fucking song.
But I think with the popularity of bullshit and mess got so popular that it changed the course of the game to, oh, fuck that. I'm not finna go try to create a great song and, you know, get fans on just being humble and able to really produce good music. I'm gonna come into this shit on some fuck this motherfucker so people can go, oh, who is this? You know, it's instant. Like I said, they like instant gratification today. So that's what that is.
Yeah, it is. We in this world of entitlement right now, though, man, because I notice it with everybody. Everyone thinks that they are supposed to get something. Ain't nobody supposed to go out and earn nothing. Ain't nobody supposed to go out to work. But just because you got it, guess what? You supposed to give it to them, mate. You made it. You got a record deal, right? How come I'm not on? Oh, you got a podcast. You got the plug with the podcast, but you ain't trying to plug me up. Don't nobody owe nobody nothing, dog. I don't ever look at no motherfucker like they owe me shit, dog. Just because I know a motherfucker. Just because I know somebody, they supposed to give it to me. And I'm even noticing it now. I asked a question today, man, and you know what? This ain't got nothing to do with my personal business or nothing. But I thought about it because, you know, I hear my sons talking about getting married one day and all this and all that, right? But I really thought about it, bro. And I said, you know what? Is it really worth it for a motherfucker to go out and get married? Because women think a motherfucker owe them something. You think about this, bro. The average motherfucker in this country make about 65 grand, I think, right? That's the average man in this country make about $65,000, right? But a woman to pass up the dude to make $75,000, the dude to make $80,000, looking for a dude to make millions of dollars. It ain't that many of them. There's only a few people in the country like that when you think about that, right?
Right.
And the more money a person makes, he's gonna have a certain type of woman on his team. If a successful man is not gonna get no bum ass broad that just sit up on her ass all day and marry her. You feel what I'm saying? So you got all these women out here chasing the $1 million man. They passing up to 75. They won't settle for them. And that's usually the dude that's the police officer, the dude that's a mailman. the dude that might be head of a janitorial in a hospital or something like that. You know, dudes that make out a good job, right?
Right.
Might work for the city, whatever. Everybody will bypass them motherfuckers, right? They ain't shit. Just to go to the top. Like they really got something to offer that motherfucker at the top. We in the land of entitlement now, dog. It's real fucked up out here right now.
Well, you know, I've always said, you know, being normal doesn't suit well with the times of today, and especially with a female. I don't know, the entitlement thing. You know, females want to be. Females, you know, certain females want to be in a position of, like you said, entitlement to where I feel like, you know, you got to make a certain amount of money. You got to live a certain class of life. You got to drive a certain type of vehicle, live in a certain zip code. And it's, I guess, is great to want certain shit, but I guess is pressed to the point of where if you're not in a certain position, I guess you're made to feel you're unworthy.
Yeah, dog. It's fucked up because you know what, man? I'm glad I got a good woman in my life, and ain't no buts about her. This ain't about her, right? I look at it, man, right now. A man has to start really being selective about who they fuck with, right?
Right.
Because some women, I think some women are other mentalities that they might have just settled fucking with you. You feel what I mean? If you got a woman at home, dudes out there, ask your woman next time, ask her tonight if you listen to this podcast or this morning, whenever you listen to it, ask her, baby, why are you with me? Do you wish I could be somebody else? I guarantee you half them bitches is lying, dog. Every woman thinks that they worthy of, I don't care how ugly their ass is, I don't care how big they is or how little they is. They think in their mind, I deserve to be with a motherfucker making $15, $20 million a year. Why am I with this motherfucker? He can't go get me this, he can't go get me that. And again, entitlement, right? Everybody feel like they deserve some shit.
Well, like I said, people feeling like, I don't know, I guess you would have to have somebody who's strong-minded and who basically has probably been with you for a while and has gone through situations as far as struggles and what is looked upon right now is probably like, hey, everything is great, so I don't know if it's trying to say you cheapening yourself by like when motherfuckers say I couldn't want anything more, you get me? But those are people who are settled with themselves, you feel me?
Well, you think about what the average woman tell her daughter nowadays, right? And I don't know, every woman is not the same.
No.
Women are not a monolith. They not all just the fucking same, right? But it's just this mentality, and not just with the women. Let me get off of them for a minute. With the men too. Everybody you meet, more than half, when you meet a new person, they are trying to get in with you because they feel like you can change their life somehow. Think about it, bro. Hey, take my CD. Oh, hey, got my CD. He's gonna change my life. Or Steele talking about he will help me with this podcast. My whole life is about to change.
I mean, let's not, overshadow the fact that there are some talented motherfuckers out here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But there are situations where people don't understand that, not everybody can be that. Like you said, people look to you probably like, oh, this nigga helped me start a podcast. And outside looking in, it's always more than what's expected because people don't understand reality when they on the outside looking in. I come from a time when motherfucker, just because you had a video and a record out, you was a millionaire. You get me?
Yeah.
Situations where, oh nigga, you got money in offshore accounts and shit like that because there's no way that you making records or you on a video or oh nigga, you was in that movie and shit.
Hey, you was sitting on 100,000. You was
man, you a motherfucker.
You was sitting on $30 million.
Yeah, you a nigga. I got nigga. My money is offshore accounts and I got it hidden overseas.
You got $30 million. Hey, you ain't helped none of the homies up.
You know, people don't understand. Like myself, I didn't understand contracts, but people don't understand the ins and outs. They just look from the outside and maybe see you got a new pair of shoes on or so and so, and you know you considered the richest motherfucker. I think the reality of today, though, because it's been a lot exposed in this game of hip hop and a lot of shit of what you do, that everything is not what it seems.
Oh, no.
But unfortunately, there are some people who still feel like I can be what he is, or I'm just as good as he is, or I write better, or my content is better, or, you know, because that's the thing today. You get me? Everything is content shit. Everything is content shit. So that's the name of the game today. But like I said, there's some people who can accept the fact that I could be normal. You get me? I can get up and go work a normal job and not feel like I'm inadequate or I'm less of a motherfucker because shit, my neighbor or one of my friends is making records or movies or so and so, and then I got to get up every morning at 5 o'clock and put on my clothes and go punch a clock.
Yeah, and you know what? And again, like you always say, there is nothing wrong with that life. And in a lot of aspects, I envy them motherfuckers sometimes, Because you know what? When you a normal motherfucker, right? The first thing you get, let's say you one of them motherfuckers, right? You getting a check every week, every 2 weeks. And your job, you have certain work hours, right? You might work from 6 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? When you get to come home, you get to go do what the fuck you want to. You ain't got nobody bothering you. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But like with our profession, for example, we might have to go jump on a plane and be in the airport for 6 hours out the fucking day, right? You gotta be away from your family. You got motherfuckers, you can't sit in a restaurant without a motherfucker harassing you sometimes. Not saying that we don't like talking to people, you know, our fans, it's cool to meet fans, but when you go to work, that shit is turned off. With this shit that we doing, dog, it's 24 hours a fucking day. And people feel like they can get in your business.
Wow.
Or just say shit to you, say whatever the fuck you want to. Because see, when you the common man, you just at home chilling, you doing your thing. You go to a restaurant, if a motherfucker dish you looking at them like they crazy. You like, excuse me? You going about your business. With this shit, you open game for every motherfucking body.
Well, definitely. Well, that comes with the territory. And I've been in the entertainment business since I was fucking 17 years old. You're open for that. And it wasn't so bad back then when I first jumped into it, but now that is the direction of everything today. Exposure and finding out shit and trying to have a motherfucker rattle your life. It seems like the norm nowadays. Like I said, back in my days, it wasn't so much frowned upon, even if you did get into situations. But today, shit, that's the number one thing, man.
Yeah, it is, man. And don't get me wrong, I feel blessed and fortunate because you know you work hard to attain some of the things that you have, right? But I just tell people all the time, anytime, man, somebody paying you to do something and it seems like it's easy, there's a reason why motherfuckers get the money they get, because you can go through a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, definitely.
And ain't nothing worse. And you know what was bad with the music, bro? I'm gonna tell you why the music industry was so bad with it, because motherfuckers always thought you had more than what you had. It's like your fame might be bigger than the money you got.
Oh, that was all. Well, some people that's the case. Like I said, back then in the early days, you know, you fascinated with celebrities and stars and shit like that. I don't know what a motherfucker was getting on their contract, but you couldn't tell me a motherfucker that I was watching on the big screen or listening to on a record wasn't a millionaire twice over, maybe 3 times. It's just what people anticipate from that walk of life. You get me? Mm-hmm. Now, shit, if you're a motherfucker delivering mail every day, or you a motherfucker picking up the trash every Friday, or the motherfucker who classroom you walking in teaching you, you not giving a damn. You get me? That's a normal motherfucker. So to them, no matter, you could be the foreman, you could be making $100,000 a year, living in a nice, comfortable crib, and you good for you.
And not have no pressure.
But the expectations of the fan or the outside looking in is, man, please.
You know what I think that is too? I think that's a big part of it. I think people at home, like, you know, women, children, they look at people that's on TV, oh, they are doing something extraordinary. So they got all this money. You feel what I mean? It's like, I think people are, I wonder how many people are disappointed once they do get in the industry.
I guess it all depends on what your expectation is. And like I said, for myself, I didn't know what the fuck to expect. But my being intrigued with becoming an entertainer or a rapper or whatever you want to say, gangster rap or whatever, I was just fascinated by the situation. I didn't know what the fuck the Fat Boys was getting. I didn't know. All I seen was limos and fat dookie ropes, and niggas had their pictures in Right On magazine and Word Up and shit like that.
That's what you wanted to be on Word Up?
And I was a kid and I had all the little posters up on my wall, and nigga, there was Eric B. and Rakim, nigga, and there was UTFO and Heavy D and the Boys and shit, and I didn't know what the fuck. Niggas got on fat dookie ropes and nigga, they had a motherfucking limousine.
For real.
And so I don't know, I never questioned like, nigga, I'm finna be an overnight millionaire, because I was hanging around with regular niggas who was, these niggas is doing beats and got studios and shit like that. And these niggas just as broke as me. And nigga, I'm just a young hustler and shit. And so it never, I don't know, I never thought of the money end of it. To me, as a motherfucking naive-minded kid, nigga, I thought you made it just by being able to put a record out.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know if I even thought about.
Well, you know,
well, am I finna make some fucking money, or if nigga finna have me a fat dookie, give me a couple of limo rides?
Because you ain't thinking about all that. You just thinking about the whole pop, and really you just want to do your shit. But you know what's funny? You put your first record out, what, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
30 years ago. So I was listening to some shit that YG said, and YG, I ain't gonna say he's a new artist. He's been in the game for a minute now, but I heard him say, man, he was like, I didn't make no money with Def Jam. Outside the check that they gave me when I first signed her, I didn't see no more money from them. So you think about it, shit ain't changed. He said he got this stuff right now, and it seemed like everybody kind of get that introduction because they taking the risk. They are taking a risk, you know. It's because for every artist that come out, man, I think maybe only 25-30% of them actually work or paying out.
Contracts are fucking tricky. You get me? I don't know if anybody really, and I don't know, like I said, being young and naive and not having the knowledge of entertainment contracts and points and publishing and all that type of shit. A lot of us were naive as far as what the bottom line is going to be. Shit, I put out 3 records in my first career, and I never seen a royalty check. And a lot of niggas are in the same situation. You try to make money off of what they gonna advance you to make the record. That's how you try to get some money in your pocket and what you can make successfully off of touring. Because if you have your contract set up straight, label ain't getting none of your touring and shit. So you get to pocket all of that. But as far as signing your first deal and thinking you finna put out a record, and a motherfucker ain't even come tell you, nigga, you got a platinum record. And nigga, you sitting up at home going, I got a platinum record, but I'm still sitting up at home. You get me? I'm in the same spot I was in 8 months ago with a platinum record. Because you don't realize, nigga, they charging you for licking a stamp in that motherfucker. You get me? And you don't really pay attention to that. Like, okay, nigga, I'm going back and forth to New York and we doing these contracts and these deals, and nigga, I'm going to have lunch here and I'm doing this and that, and the whole time they going charge back, charge back, charge back, charge back. So you could have a motherfucking platinum record and still like, nigga, I didn't see a dime when that record came out.
Did you ever see anybody else's shit on your sheet?
What you say?
You know how they got the sheet that they show you all the bills that you got on there?
Oh man, please.
Did you ever see any other artist shit on your shit?
No. I mean, when I did my first projects, I didn't do guest appearances and shit. I didn't start getting people on my records until maybe my 3rd album. Because a known who probably knew the cost of shit, and knowing that this hand was in the pot, this hand's in the pot, this hand is in the pot. By the time the money come to me, I'm really the nigga who has to go out and pay for this record to get done, right? So by him being able to control that shit, knowing at that time, shit, a nigga cost you $30,000 to get on your record. You get me? Back then, it wasn't no, favor for a favor, or beat makers was like, oh man, here, respect, let me give you this beat and whatever and blah blah. Nigga, back then it was, oh, you want a beat from Dre, you want a beat from whoever the producers was at the time, man, you spending anywhere between $5,000 and $20,000 for one single beat. So when you controlling that shit, man, I got 90,000. You think I'm finna give up 20 to pay for a nigga to be on Eiht's record? Man, please, we ain't getting no guest appearances, and that's why I'm gonna control the production. So even if I did want beats from another motherfucker, it wasn't able to happen because a nigga knowing the actuality, we ain't got no $1 million budget.
Hell no.
Nigga, I got 90 grand and 50% of that I want to stick in my pocket. So now I got to figure out a way to really do this record for about 30 grand.
Yeah, you need to get you some money, and that's why it was cool for you to work in-house with your own producer and all that shit.
Right. I mean, but that's why I was kept in-house all the way, and I just figured by the time I was able to take over, I might as well keep the shit in-house. I'm not finna start running to, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, because now I'm gonna be in the same position. Nigga, I got motherfucking 200,000 and beats is 20 grand. You getting? To complete a whole record is my whole budget. So you have to start producing for yourself or working with a team of motherfuckers that you go, I'm setting this aside for the budget as far as production go, and this what it is. So That's what you have to start doing. But knowledge don't come along because when you young and naive, man, the dream of just taking yourself out of what you going through every day, and especially if you a nigga in the hood selling dope, gang banging, or just being a poverty motherfucker. I don't want to take myself out of this. Nigga dangle 15 grand in your face. You thinking that's gonna change everything. You're not knowing the ins and outs, so it's difficult. And like you said, everything is like a mirage. It's not what it seems. Because niggas will be fronting like, nigga, I got 10 million off of this shit. And knowing damn well, no you don't. There's no way possible. If you do that, the actual real situations of a contract and how points work and how them motherfuckers chart, motherfucker, I was on the phone for an hour with your manager. $1,000. Everything is charged back to you. You feel me? So it's kind of rough.
Yeah, you know what though, man? I tell everybody, I've been in some movies and shit, man. I like to act. I think acting is the shit. Out of all this shit, I think acting is probably the best shit.
Yeah.
Acting is probably the best shit. They get paid. You know, I think that's because they got a union too. I think there needs to be a union in music. Because you still got the same shit that was going on 30 years ago going on today. Today it's a little bit better because you got companies like Empire and shit like that. You know, who structure they deal is a little bit more artist friendly. You know, they actually giving cats their own labels and shit like that. So I think it's a little bit better today, man, but there's still a lot of fuckery going on.
Yeah, it is because motherfuckers still pick and choose who they want to invest in. It's still not a fair playing field of, you know, you got a good song, you got a good song, so same thing we do for you, you know, we do for them, we gonna do for you. It doesn't work like that. If you're not gonna invest in my project and how my shit's gonna make any noise, like you doing the other motherfucker, you know. They got videos, they got billboards, you scheduling clubs for them because you believe in that project. I always feel that if you don't believe in the shit, you don't feel you can do what you can do for anybody else can. A lot of times that's how motherfuckers get caught up in these deals and then situations turn real ugly and nasty sometimes in these situations of label deals and independence because you want a fair shot just like the rest of the motherfuckers because you feel your shit is just as good. Might be, might not be. And I guess that's where you gotta roll the dice. But there's a lot of good shit that's being overlooked. Yeah, because people just have their preferences of what they want to believe in.
Well, I just think, man, and again, we go back to the regular person shit, right? You stand a better shot, man, of making a bunch of money by finding you a trade or some shit like that, something that you want to do. If you say, okay, I want to fix cars, you can make millions of dollars doing that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I think we look too much to entertainment. And a businessman that wears so many jobs, that's like everybody aspires to play in the NBA, NFL, be a rapper. There's only so many spots for that shit. And it's a fresh new crop of motherfuckers coming every year. Not just them, but the ones that still think they can play. You might be a 24, 25-year-old rookie. You ain't just competing against the niggas that they drafting next year. You competing against the dudes that might be in the league 3 or 4 years. You might be going against a cat that played 3 or 4 years, you know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 years in the league, then might have took a year off or whatever because he wanted to go back to his degree, now he back. You're going against all that stuff. It's way easier, man, to go get you some regular shit going on.
Yeah, it's hard to convince people of that, though. Like
I'm not saying nobody shouldn't dream, but me just, you know what this is I'm having, man? I'm having one of them, because you know I just had my birthday. It's like you, I'm a Gemini, it's like you. I think the older you get, the more you start thinking different. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I would have done so much shit different if I was younger again, man.
Yeah, I think once you get to a certain age to where I don't want to say you're comfortable with shit, but you in a different place and can understand shit a little bit better. How life go and how you really can't focus on shit you can't control. And I think the older we get, we start realizing that there's just certain situations that, whether good or bad, it just happens. And you have to be able to accept what's in your path. I think, we all get to a point to where we start thinking, man, if I knew this shit, I wouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't have done that. But then I look at those are the lessons that we have to learn going through life without the hand being held. Or, like sometimes I say about with my son or with anybody, I'm older than and been through more experiences. Sometimes I tell motherfuckers if they gonna have to learn, for themselves.
Yeah, you do. You know what's funny?
And I think some situations had to happen for you to be able to look back on shit and be able to accept shit today. Because if they didn't happen, how you would be able to be in control if that check didn't come, or you couldn't get this deal to go down. But because you've been through situations in your life that you had to take that step and you had to learn from it, is why you can go through shit today and go, yeah or no. You get me?
Yeah.
Situations come about today. It's not even a contemplation. It's, yeah, I can do that shit, or nah, too bad, man, I can't do that shit.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what? I just found out. Just got some information. There is a hip hop union. I guess Chuck D from Public Enemy, Curtis Blow, and Dougie Fresh, all the OGs. They got it's called the Hip Hop Alliance. I guess the Hip Hop Alliance has already formed a strategic partnership with the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. The collaborative efforts between the two organizations will focus on outreach and engagement within the hip-hop and R&B community. The affiliation will benefit artists in being treated fairly in forms of contractual obligations and equitable pay as one of the initiatives between the two organizations. Now, have you heard anything about this?
I don't think so. I've heard something about something where they was trying to give, dudes who they didn't feel got they just due or paid their dues, they was giving them money or some shit like that.
This could be some good stuff, but if you ain't heard about it, they not doing a good job of marketing it. And I always thought that's what would have to happen, that they would probably have to hook up with SAG and AFTRA.
Yeah. But will they be considered as, on the same page as SAG and AFTRA as far as actors and actresses are concerned?
Well, then that means you would have to have I guess in music, it would be the equivalent of like what union scale is. You know how motherfuckers got a certain amount that you got to pay somebody. Maybe they say, okay, a record deal at minimum has to be this many points in order for it to be fair, or they got to get their masters back if they recoup in 3 years or some shit like that, 5 years,
Right. Hip hop is, like I said, we've been frowned upon for a long time, Steele. I don't think we've ever been able to get our just due and be considered equal as other people, especially in certain situations where, rap has been put on the stand, when niggas, would try to cop out and say, oh, I shot a motherfucker because I was listening to so-and-so. But violent movies never got that rap. You feel me? Oh, I was watching motherfucking Goodfellas and nigga, I went and shot up a bank full of people or some shit because I saw Goodfellas last night. Or I saw Terminator and so I just wanted to walk in and just shoot a bunch of motherfuckers and blame it on Terminator. You get me? It's never had that rap but we've always been frowned upon. So maybe because of that is why we can never be considered equal, like you said.
Yeah.
And it would be a good thing. Like I said, I've always talked about, you know, having hip hop healthcare and niggas be signed to these labels and producing all this income, and then, you know, why can't I get on the label's health plan? Why can't I get on Sony's health plan?
I'm pretty sure the people in marketing and A&R and all that got health benefits.
I mean, shit. The niggas in the mailroom, the people answering the phones, the secretaries in the front of the offices, you know, that the average motherfuckers.
So when you were signed to Sony, you couldn't have negotiated that in your contract and saying, you know what, I want to have health benefits. I want a medical
I guess
card.
if we would have been smart enough to consider that, it should have been considered. Like, as long as I'm signed here for the length of my contract, I should have y'all health care. You get me? Instead of having to try to break my pockets to pay for some decent health care, you know, for me or my children or whatever. Why not? Because I'm pretty sure I'm signing a contract, so I should be considered, you know, under as some kind of employee.
And you would think the
working.
record company would want a motherfucker like that.
Yeah, we partners. So let me get on your good health plan because I don't have one.
Yeah. Well, I guess they probably, you know, record companies probably make money off of dead rappers.
And I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure a lot of you know, dudes who have the income or the situations to where they got motherfucking assistants and you know, I'm hoping that somebody is considerate or thoughtful enough to go, okay, well, you invested in this and you got this and you got this, you know, what about your health care? Do you got any health care? You get me? So I'm pretty sure the business-minded motherfuckers and the moguls are on that. But, you know, like I said, an average motherfucker you run out and sign today who's 19, 18, and, you know, coming from a situation where, you know the motherfuckers is from the streets. They not, you know, probably didn't graduate high school and coming from, you know, a vicious walk of life. That should be something that you're offering a motherfucker that you finna go try to make millions of dollars off of. You get me? Let me make sure that if your ass gets sick on the road, you can walk into a doctor's office and get some health care instead of trying to, you know, work out grandma's own home remedies.
Especially from our community, man, that's plagued with high blood pressure, diabetes.
And you already know niggas ain't on that. You get me? You got a nigga 25, 26 making rap records out, you know, popping motherfucking pills and drinking every night and fucking like, you know, 90 going west. I'm pretty sure they not thinking the next morning, oh, nigga, I was up all night drinking and popped a couple of whoopty-whoop. Let me check my blood pressure and shit and see whoopty-whoop or like nigga on to the next motherfucking town.
We gotta start thinking like that. You know what, man? We had these conversations right there. It make you realize how fucking far behind we is on a lot of shit, dog.
Well, I don't know if it's just being thick-headed as a youth, not having the knowledge to care for self, to feel like, man, before I go buy an ounce of weed or a motherfucking blicky or woonty-woon, I'm finna go get myself some health insurance. You get me? Don't think about that shit. I guess if that's feeling like because being uneducated about, like I said, being uneducated about your health as a young man, that was something you didn't think about.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Did your mama ever talk to you about insurance and having health care and making sure you kept your credit straight and all that? Like, be real, because I ain't never had them conversations with my parents.
No, I mean, and you probably figure a lot of our elders who came from the struggle they wouldn't put in those situations. You get me? My grandfather, you know, Mississippi and, you know, pig farm and shit like that. He ain't telling the motherfucker like, you know, you take care of your taxes and
make sure your credit score.
You motherfuckers survive.
So we do.
That's what I'm telling you.
Because I'm gonna tell you this. I think that, and I know it's a percentage of black people that do have these conversations. I know I for sure talk to my kids about keeping their credit good.
I mean, but you got educated to that, just like me. I can tell my son today, like we have talks, and I'd be like, you know, you got to watch your spending, and you don't want to do this, and your credit is important, and you don't want to go out and do that, and then, you know, if you got a phone bill, or you got a this or you that, you know, pay your shit on time.
Being a fiscally responsible motherfucker, you know?
I mean, because you want, and that's my thing. You want to save your, and that's just my thought of it. You want to save a motherfucker from going through a lot of shit that you went through because it was fucked up shit. And I know that as a parent, I don't want a motherfucker to have to go through that shit. That was some fucked up shit I went through.
Man, our kids shouldn't go through nothing hard that we've been through.
Exactly. So, not that they shouldn't learn and they shouldn't, you know, be able to get off situations on their own. But I'm the type of motherfucker, if I can prevent you from, you know, if I can prevent you from going through this, and this, because at your age, I went through that, and if I could have avoided that shit, if somebody would have educated me to, oh, nigga, when you 19, you don't want to do that, or you don't want to do that, or if I just had a motherfucker I didn't have that, because I was in a situation where it was, moms was trying to get, you know, maintain the family. When your parents separate, it's like, so while moms was trying to support and stable the household, it left us to the vices. There was nobody else to go, hey, y'all don't do that. No, we was left to our own vices. And it wasn't like, my sister was like, come on, we gonna be, my sister was like, nigga, please, this is the hood.
You know what, I'd be curious to see, man, with our listeners, man, what percentage of them whose parents talk to them about having their credit right? Because all that shit is important shit, man.
I mean, it is, because like you said.
You know, your credit, getting health insurance and making sure, even life insurance.
Because at some point, you want your kid to succeed. And if you can succeed over me, I would be very grateful. So that is the motto, because you knew, oh damn, man, I can't have my kids going through this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to hop on a bus and come to the West Coast and really, you know, and what I had to go through to get to here, I wouldn't want them to go through that.
It's like, man, I don't walk a lot of dogs, man. It's like, man, this shit is like, this life has been hard.
So if I can prevent you from that, then let me educate you on that. Now, there's some situations where, you know, some kids might be just like, they might want to experience shit on their own. You try to tell them, but then once they get to that point to where they think, you have to let them experience some shit. Now, I ain't gonna let you go in a pitfall, but there's some things you probably gonna have to get knocked on your ass a couple of times if you don't want to listen to because I'm only gonna tell you some shit to avoid those pitfalls. But sometimes if you want to be hard-headed and experience it for yourself, then there's certain paths you're gonna have to walk down by yourself.
That's real. Well, shit, man. We've been here just chopping it up. I wanted to do this tonight because I know last few episodes we don't have guests and all that stuff. I just wanted to just chop it up. You know what I mean?
And one thing, like I said, before we cut out, it's like I said, we've had a lot of street shit behind the hip hop that is basically it has nothing to do with hip hop. A lot of the shit has to do with the streets and hood affiliations, and basically, my hood is harder than your hood. A lot with the youngsters and the music, and just we don't want to stain hip hop or take hip hop back to them days where nobody wants to fuck with us, nobody wants to book us, nobody wants to play the music because all the music is kill or be killed. You get me?
Yeah.
And again, I'm not one of those, point the finger motherfuckers or try to sit up, the professor or the psychology motherfucker and tell you that there's a better way or whatever. I went through hard shit too, as far as representing the turf, being from the hood, what's expected of you when you walk in that life. Fuck the rap shit. It's expected of you to represent the block before the hip hop. So now hip hop is being incorporated into representing the block. You get me? So, but we don't want to stain hip hop like that. You get me? It took us a long time to be able to play at Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. You get me?
Yeah, it's a deep position now.
It took us a long time to be able to make the money that, hip hop artists, or you looking at hip hop artists today, niggas is rich as a motherfucker. The avenues that we have been able to go down with hip hop, we don't want to put the stain on it like that. So I just, I just wish for, all the young homies to really try to craft themselves into being artists. You get me? Let's make some music, and let's, we had shootouts and we had niggas die from the hoods and all that type of shit. But we dealt with situations, we dealt with those situations differently. You get me? This is something for us to try to enjoy as black people. We came up with this hip hop shit. A lot of motherfuckers are trying to move into our territory, in our neighborhood, and basically get us out, so to speak. We got a lot of outsiders who come into the game and try to make themselves efficient, but we have to learn that this is our music, and we don't want to keep jeopardizing it. You get me?
Real shit.
We don't want to go back to them days where motherfuckers are scared of our shit. You get me? And if all our music is, I'm finna go kill Tony next week, or you get me, it's like, how is that entertainment for, And then it leads our youth astray, because now music is gonna be turned into really just beefing music. You get me? Or affiliation music. Like, all songs are gonna turn into we gonna kill y'all next week, and then so now we gonna kill Tony, and then we kill Tony with the AK, and Johnny shot him, and he got out and ran up on a nigga, and we shot him 2 times, and we're like,
there's gonna be some bullshit.
If y'all want if you want to tell on yourselves or talk about, whatever, there's other ways, just go bang. Just go bang. Leave music alone and just bang.
Yeah, because they sure fucking it up. But shit, man, y'all leave us a comment and rate. We out of here.
Yeah.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes. If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.